Hey, welcome back to my channel. I got the little 3-incher on the bench here. We're gonna go through a couple things with it, and we're gonna do a motor swap. These are the 1106 motors, 4500 kV, SkyStars branded. So these 1106s are hard to come by. They're over 2 years old, and I crashed and broke a magnet in one of them. So I am in search to find a replacement. But in the meantime, I'm going to try out these 1206 Iflight. I've done an unboxing, just a real quick one if you check that out. But this is the Iflight Nano 1206 4500 kV motor with a 1.5 shaft. So we're going to go ahead and put these on there and see what the difference is. We'll get some flight video of this. This motor is very smooth feeling. When I turn the bell on these motors, it's really notchy. I mean, really strong magnet pull on these, and these just seem to be very smooth. So I'm under the assumption with the smoother magnets, we're not going to get as much grunt, and they should run a little bit cooler. They should be a little easier to tune as well. So we'll get those motors put on this quadcopter, and then we'll jump out to the field and rip it around and see, you know, what my thoughts are. I have another 3-inch. This is a 3-inch quad that I built a long time ago, and I have a full build video on this. And this uses the GEP-RC 1206 4500 kV. Okay. So a little different looking motor, and as far as notchiness, these GEP-RC motors are pretty similar feeling to the Iflight motor. The Iflight motor seems to have just a little bit smoother than even these. So it's going to be real interesting to see what kind of characteristics these have. But yeah, if you want to check out that video for this thing, this is my line of sight cruiser. I've got LEDs on the front and back, so I got white and red LEDs, so I can fly this thing pretty far away and still have orientation. So this is a lot of fun. I also have a real pit, so I can shut the VTX and camera off. So I also have a video on that if you want, how to hook up a real pit to a Mamba stack. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get these motors on. I have like I said, an unboxing of these, so I have some of the measurements and whatnot in that video. And just to give you an idea, in here you can see the length of the motor wires. they're really long. You're not going to have any, I mean, you could put these on 4-inch frames without a problem. So pretty long motor wires. They are very thin. They look to be 28 gauge. The motors that the SkyStars motors that I'm taking off are 24 gauge. So 28 gauge on the Iflight motors, and then 24 gauge on the older SkyStars motors. So let's go ahead and take a weight difference between the two motors. I'm going to take this motor off because I've already cut the wires, so they should be about the same length. All right, so you can see under the underside of each motor. So we have the same magnet count. So we have 12 magnets in both motors, but you can see that the Iflight magnet is a little bit wider, and the gap is about the same. The one thing I don't like about the Iflight is there's only 2 mounting points. Every motor I have has 4 mounting points. In case you strip one out, you can move to the next set of holes. So that's kind of a bummer. If you strip out one of those holes, this you know, it's not going to be very good for you. So kind of a downer on that, especially how much these motors are. So we'll go ahead and get the SkyStars motors taken off here, and then I'm going to just pack them away until I can find a replacement. I'm unable to find a replacement, because a lot of people would say, oh, well, just go get an 1106 motor. Just get an 1106 45K motor. You know, grab an Emax. Well, Emax manufacturer says 2 to 3S. They don't even recommend a 4S on their 1106. So the other thing is these motors are unusually notchy. They're not like any other motor I've really gotten my hands on. So I really want to find the exact replacement. So I'm going to just kind of hang tight on those. So we'll get these 4 motors on. I have to trim all the motor wires. So that's how much, just for this 3-inch frame, you can kind of see where I've cut that much wire off. There's quite a bit of wire on there. So I'll go ahead and get these on, and we'll take it out to the field and we'll rip it around and see what I think. All right. So let's. All right, so we're out the flight field here. Got our Nano motors ready to go. See how this thing performs compared to those SkyStar's 1106 notchy motors. So I got the 1206 4500 kV. We're running a 650 4S Tattoo. And so the only thing we've done is swapped out the motors, and I've had to do a little bit of PID tuning just to keep these motors from burning up. The tune is, I had to kind of settle the tune down from those 1106 motors. So let's go ahead and get a little line of sight flight, see what it sounds like and see what it looks like, and then we'll jump in some FPV and rip around a little bit. All right, get a little line of sight going here. Yeah, really takes about the same amount of throttle, a little more throttle to get it up in the air than the 1106 did. I had to change the props out because these motors just didn't perform at all with those bi-blade props. So I put some Avan mini props on it. They are 3-inch props. That's almost, it's about 80% throttle, so let's do a full punch here. Yeah, nowhere near the zip of those 1106 motors. So it seems to perform okay with these motors. I'm not super impressed with these motors. I thought that the 1106 motors gave it quite a bit more, I don't know, a little more oomph, you know, a little more grunt maybe. They seemed a bit more aggressive. And as far as flight time, I feel like I'm getting the same amount of flight as I did out of the 1106 motors. Let's go ahead and jump in some FPV and see what we got going on here. All right, let's get some FPV here. Got a fresh Tattoo 650 4S pack on. So we're gonna just kind of get a hover here. So we're about, yeah, maybe 19. Yeah, about 19 for a hover. Yeah, we'll say 18 for a hover. Now you're watching that battery voltage in the bottom left, and then in the top right under air, the 14, 15, that's the throttle. So you watch how much throttle input is given compared to voltage drop. Now these do seem to fly pretty decent. The only thing is those 1106 motors were just so aggressive. Like when I'd do a punch out, it would just, I don't know, it would just go, you know. That's a full punch out, which is respectable, but I think, I don't know. I hate to have preconceived notions that notchier motors give you more performance, but I don't know. I just, the magnet strength just kind of makes me wonder. I sure hope this video turns out nice. A little bit of oscillation on there. Yeah, I just can't believe we got such a nice morning. It's just really, I mean, it's still pretty cold. I think it's only 50 degrees. I shouldn't say cold, because last time I was out here it was like minus 16. Or I'm sorry. Last time I was out here it was like wind chill is 16, not minus. This quad is floaty. I like my other 3-inch. It's just a little bit heavier. It takes about 23 on the throttle to get it to hover. This one being at around between 17, 19. It's a little bit floaty, so you don't drop down as quick when you pull the throttle all the way out. I did change the setting to where it will drop down but not waller, so I kind of got that set just right. Trying to kind of stay over here where you can hear it. Woohoo! It's kind of windy. The wind is at my back at about 15 mile an hour probably. So right now it's on the right. The wind is pushing on the right side. So you can see the battery voltage. We got 4 minutes of flight. I wouldn't say it was aggressive at all. This is pretty docile. We're about 352 on a hover. So yeah, Iflight Nano 1206 motors. I have another set of 1206 motors on another quad. I actually brought it today that weighs 23 grams heavier than this one. And it's running the GEP RC 1206 4500 kV motors. And I've got them tuned just about as good as these. So maybe I'll stick another flight in this video. Give you an idea what the GEP RC motors are like. All right, we're not recovering back up to 3.5 anymore, so we're gonna come in for landing. And we're at 5 minutes 11 seconds. Now, if you remember, I got 7 minutes of flight out of those 1106 motors. So, and that wasn't. I don't think that was as aggressive as the 1106 motors flight. So. Almost 2 minutes shy. So I don't know. You make your decisions up and throw them in comments. The one we just seen is Iflight the Nano 1206 4500 kV motors. Now this one here, I built a long time ago. It's just like a real generic clone frame. And then I put some LEDs on it so I can fly it at night. It's pretty bright, white LEDs and red LEDs. Great line of sight flyer. I got the real pit in here so I could turn my VTX and camera off. But I'm flying the GEP-RC's SpedX 1206 4500 kV, same props, same motor combination. So 1206 4500 kV, 1206 4500 kV. This quad weighs about 23 grams more than the one here that you just seen. So let's jump in this one and we'll just do some FPV. I got a fresh pack on it, same pack as what I used on this one. So give you an idea of what these motors are like, and the same kind of setup. But remember, this one is about 23 grams heavier. Other 3-incher here. Start off by kind of just get a hover point here. So yeah, we're about 23% throttle, so a little bit, about 21. Looking at my transmitter, about 21% throttle. Check something on my VTX real quick. Yeah, this one flies a bit heavier. I wouldn't say it's struggling, but that extra weight that I put on this one, you could tell. Little oscillation there. This quad here is a couple years old. I don't know if it's fair to compare the two motors, to two brand new motors, to some older motors that have been beat up, flying line of sight, mostly just crashing it, you know. But there's one new motor on this quad. These motors do not like the turtle mode very well. They just don't like turtle moding. I haven't flown this quad since I built my other one. My other 3-inch quad is got the 1408 Mamba motors on it, and that quad is just, I mean, it just rips. It's so much fun to fly, and I mean, I get over 5 minutes of flight out of it on the same pack. So I'm pretty impressed with the 1408 Mamba motors for sure. These motors have always kind of been my go-to on the small 3-inch quads. Yeah, just now we're gonna have to take about 20 seconds or so off our arm time, since I landed real quick and checked that VTX. So just to be fair, we're gonna have to. Sorry about the low battery. I forgot to change that. These batteries recover pretty well. That's about it right there. I'd say the flight characteristics are pretty similar. But I can only imagine these motors on a quad that weighs 23 grams less, you know? Hey, let me know in comments what you think, but I really appreciate your time. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. If you hated it, give it a thumbs down. It all works. Have a good one. Enjoy the breeze.